today. We have a lot to cover. We have some more phenomenal movements in these financial markets. We had, some great movement with the dollar. Let's get this off. Um, and the financial markets, as far as the equities, we've seen a big drop later or earlier this week, and we're seeing a little bit of retracement here today. So as we know, before we get started, there is risk in trading. You can and probably will lose money at one point in the financial markets. It's important to have a plan, manage your risk the proper way with your entry points, your targets, and your stop losses for your protection. So past performance is not indicative to future results. This is strictly for mainly my entertainment purposes. So let's dive right into it. So let's start off with the equities market. So today we had a slight, we got some buying pressure here. We have some buying pressure in this zone down here. You guys, you can see here. This is a daily chart on the S&P 500. We've been seeing a drop here for the last week or so. We can check and see what that drop is. Uh, Last time I checked, it was about 7%, but we're looking at about 9%. Sorry, 8.4% down since really the beginning of September. So a lot of our uncertainty out there. We have the election coming up, so there's going to be some different uncertain events that are going to be happening, especially with that event. Fed Powell's been talking this week, so that's been bringing some volatility in the market, some more uncertainty. No real plan to my knowledge, anyway, with what's going on. So a couple things to watch out for there. Let's take a peek at the Nasdaq. That is also up on the day, and today is Thursday here, the 24th. So that's up on the day as well. The Dow, that's also up a little bit less. So we're seeing some buying power, not buying power, some buying pressure. The bulls are coming out here in the stock market. Let's take a peek at our cryptocurrencies. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is up pretty good today, about 8%. So for those of you that are holding some cryptocurrencies, hopefully not from the top, but hopefully from more on the bottom, there's some buying pressure there. So looking good there for you buying your holders. Hold them. Is that what they call it? Litecoin is up a little bit. Let's check out gold and silver before we get into the Forex market. So this is gold. As you know, the gold market has been rising for quite some time here since March. Pretty good gains. A little bit of retracement here the last week or two, and today it's up a little bit. Really, there's really nothing stopping it from coming back down. So who knows what's going to be going on with this with the gold market. So keep an eye on that. Have your protections in place there with your stop losses. If you do have questions, feel free to type them in the chat. As we know, we'll answer any questions. If you want to look at any pair, any currency pair, what's going on with that, any analysis, feel free to throw in the chat there, and we'll try to cover that here as we go today. The silver is going to be pretty similar to what the gold chart looks like. That's up a little bit on the day. I had a big drop right away, but we are up about 2.2% on the day for the silver, spot silver. So moving on, let's check our esports ETF that we like to look at. Looks like that's up about 23 cents on the day. Some consolidation. We talked about this a couple times last week and earlier this week. It's just stuck in this range here from about $58 up to 61 or so, 61 and a half. So that's kind of sitting in a range there, and not doing a whole lot. So keep an eye on that. Keep your protections in place. We have here this one here, no pun intended, is also up on the day about 0.7%. So we're seeing some of the bulls come back out there here today. The same thing in this consolidation in this channel here, about $18 down to 16 or so. So we're kind of stuck in that range right now. Let's move on. Let's check out the news on the day. Here's today. It's Thursday. This is on Central Time. So right now, today we have, like I said earlier, we had Fed Powell talking. He's testifying today. I believe tomorrow as well. We can peek at that. Actually, let's do that. Let's peek at the whole week here. Today's Thursday. Tomorrow he is not speaking, so today's the last day for that. Not a whole lot of news going on this afternoon or this evening in the global markets, so may not see a whole lot of movement in the currency market. Anything spiked from news or anything, so kind of a snooze there. One of the things I like to look at to get some fundamental information is Scotia Bank. There's a couple good, I guess we'll say, articles or reports that they do. I like to look at the G10 FX daily. So they put this article out daily, and this is more so for my entertainment as far as like what their thoughts are and their fundamental information that they look at. Doesn't really help you with decisions, but it could help you with the bias, monetary policy, stuff like that. So I like to look at this daily one. There is also a monthly outlook that they'll do. This one's a little bit longer, so if you like to read and you like to read about monetary policy, what's happening with different countries. It's a good article, a good report. It's usually several pages, so you want to set some time for that. All right, moving on. Let's get into the currency markets. All right, so we have the euro dollar here. Let's start with that. As we had been talking about all week, really no action with the euro dollar. We're gonna see if we can get a close here below this dollar 17.50. It's gonna bring our bias in as we talk about every week. It's kind of like a basketball court. Um, in the basketball court, it's sitting in at half court here, and we want to get into a close above or below. And looks like we're going to probably get a close below, which brings our short bias. Then we want to drop it down to a 4 hour time frame to be able to make our execution or our decisions there. Um, as I said, oh, and also, if you guys could give a subscribe if you're new to the page. It also helps if you give a like or a thumbs up or a dislike if you want. It helps with the algorithms and stuff to help grow the show and help with more guests. We'll try to get more guests on. We had Jeff Manson on Wednesday. That was a good show. He was talking about the Fibonacci, using that as a odds enhancer. Moving on, let's look at the dollar yen. So the dollar yen, we have our short bias. Really no action right now. So we had a close below this dollar 107.50, and we did have a close here. I believe we got into a late over here, but has stop loss. That's why you want to have your protections in place. Every trade does not work, so that's why it's important to manage your capital. So you have really you want to have small losers and much larger wins, and that's the key to it. So stop loss there happens all the time, which is fine. Let's move on to the pound dollar. Right now, we're also in a area of no decision. Brexit. There's gonna be some big news on Brexit here. I believe it's October 15th. They're gonna be making some decisions on that. So this pair, if they strike a deal there, that could bring this pair. It could get some buying pressure in there, but also you never know what's going to happen. So don't place your decisions strictly on the news. Base your decisions off the chart because this won't lie. The Australian dollar. So Australian dollar, I believe, has an opportunity right now, and this is not trading advice. This is just my thoughts. You guys, obviously, you're smart enough to know that you got to make your own decisions on that. So make your own decisions in your execution. So we have a long bias here. We had a pretty big drop here. Obviously, the dollar has been pretty strong this week, and dropping down most of the dollar pairs. If it's in the quote. So we had a buying opportunity here. So ultimately, once it got down to the 70 cent area, 70, 75, stop loss at the 70 cent area, right? So basically, if we get here, we're going to reset and we'll be in wait and see mode until we get a close above or below these hezzy lines. Moving on, dollar Canadian. I believe this one's going to bring potentially a opportunity here next week. We are seeing some selling pressure coming in here, so we'll see what happens here the next day here, to the rest of the day today and tomorrow. Right? So that could bring some uncertainty there. So if we do get a close above here, we'll look to go long. in this zone here between $32.50 and $33.75, or sorry, 33.25. And as you know, this is not trading advice or any recommendation, as you know. Moving on. So let's look at the dollar franc. This one will also potentially bring us a opportunity next week. If we can get a close above this 92.50 area, we're going to look to go long either at the 93.25. So we want to get some more momentum in there. Otherwise, we're looking to get a pullback at the 90.75 area. 75 pip stops, 175 pip reward. Moving on to the Euro pound, New Zealand dollar. This one, I believe, it is in a trade right now, an opportunity sitting in the zone currently. We have a long bias, so brought back down to the 65.75 area, and currently sitting in this zone. So, let it work for you. Moving on, Euro pound. So this one does have a long bias on that. This Euro pound has been stuck at this 90 cent area with a, for a long time. It hasn't really. This is back into 2017. We're kind of stuck right here with some, excluding a couple little moves out of there. It's not doing a whole lot, so I really don't like this pair. Even though it does have a bias, I probably won't get in the trade if it gets down here. I'm just not feeling the sideways action here for 3 years. I mean, what's that? What's in motion will stay in motion until it's not. Well, this one is not in motion. It's stuck in the mud. New Zealand CAD. This one had an opportunity this week. We had a short bias, came up to our sell area where we want to go short at 89.25, dropping it down to 87.50. So it really did exactly what we wanted to do there. So that one, these trades don't happen all the time, but it's nice to see when your plan works out exactly how you want it to. So now we're just wait and see mode, looking to get a close below here to continue this bearish momentum, or come back up here and short it again. Obviously, you got to make your own decisions on that, your own risk management, and that is not trading advice. Let's look at one more. I believe the Australian yen is going to bring us an opportunity here if we continue some selling pressure, bringing it down to 73.25. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple. Probably not this week, more so probably halfway through next week. If we do see some continuing selling, we'll look to see and look to buy there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the show. It helps with the computers and everything. Also give a like. Next week, we're going to have some guests on the show. I'm trying to get a couple, 2 or 3 Forex traders to do a roundtable next week. So potentially Wednesday, we will do a roundtable with some longtime Forex traders and kind of talk about there's many strategies that are out there in trading and investing. Well, we could talk about why not. There's no one straight strategy. So we're going to talk about the difference between those strategies, but the one common, I guess, theme that each strategy has. So we'll cover that probably on Wednesday. I don't have a date exactly, but I got a couple notes out to a few longtime Forex traders. So let's end there. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will probably see you tomorrow, Friday. Until then, retire young, my friends.